What is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. My name is Tom Hobbs, and on this channel I help high caliber men master their self-image so they can become the man that their vision, their calling, and their family need them to be. Now, in today's episode, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that I know for a fact is such a big problem and big challenge in highly successful and these high caliber men, right? And that is having external success, or having this appearance on the outside. To others, you look confident, you have it all together, you're successful on paper, right? Maybe you've got the followers, maybe you've got the clout on social media. It looks like everything is going insanely well. However, on the inside, this is where we run into a problem. You're fighting this mental battle every day of, are you good enough? You're fighting the self-doubt voice. You're fighting that I'm never ever satisfied. You're always raising that bar, and no matter how much success you have or how confident you look, bang the camera there, how confident you look on the outside, inside you are struggling. Right? This is one of the biggest challenges and roadblocks for men that are being really successful. And it might not even be direct success, like monetary success or life success, but I've had it in the past where from the outside looking in, I am now, but in the past, I would appear confident, right? I do these videos, I get on social media and I speak, with my clients, I'm able to show up, I'm able to run events. My body's changed a hell of a lot. I post it really confidently. So on the outside, looking in, everything looks together, right? But inside, I've been battling these demons. I've been battling the doubt. I've been battling the inferiority. I've been comparing. I've been wondering if I'm good enough. And what all that has then sort of caused or created is this is doubt about who I am as a man, and therefore my ability to create the life that I want to create, right? To fulfill the vision and to ultimately be the man that my family need me to be. And this can be really hard, especially if you're a man that is not used to opening up and expressing and being vulnerable, or knowing how to actually navigate this stuff, right? It's very common for men to just push this down because, as I said, on the outside looking in, everything's great. And they have this certain image and identity and almost aura around them. So if they were to actually disclose that they weren't happy, that they were feeling sad or upset or even depressed and anxious, and they were fighting these insecurity battles, that would change how other people would see them. And as a man, a lot of the time we don't want to change how people see us if it is a good thing, right? We want to be liked. And this isn't just men. We want to be liked. We want to be accepted. We want to fit in. We want to be, seen to be doing well and looked up to. So if I'm to admit that I'm struggling and I'm battling this insecurity and this doubt and I'm in my own head every single day, then that might impact how other people see me. And if that impacts how other people see me, then what am I, right? Who am I? This is where we get stuck in this fear of what other people are going to think. So yeah, trying to keep up appearances is basically what I'm saying. And this can be done for a little while, but you get to a point where it really starts to affect you. Right? And as I said, I've experienced this in the past, and it just feels like the weight grows stronger and stronger every single day, and it gets harder and harder and harder to wear that mask and put on that front externally, and then you come home and you crumble, or you go to do something and you're just constantly in your own head questioning, doubting. You're like I would walk into the gym and I think everyone was judging me. I'd post a photo and believe everyone was going to comment something nasty on it, whatever it might be. And it just stopped me from being the best man that I could be. That's what so many of these problems and issues that I'm going to be speaking on in these videos, at the end of the day, let me put it this way. The thing that it impacts most in men is their ability to be the man that they want to be for the people that they love, right? I know for me, that is one of the biggest driving factors, and it was one of the biggest driving factors that got me out of my body dysmorphia, my insecurity, my 15 plus year battle with not feeling good enough. Is I didn't want to live like that anymore, because when I looked into the future, I knew I was here for more. I knew I had this calling, I had this vision for my life. I knew God put me here for a reason, right? Maybe you're the same. And I also knew in my future that I was going to be a husband, that I was going to be a father, that I was going to be a role model, and I needed to be that leader and that grounding masculine presence for my future family. And so if I was confident, if I was like looked a certain way on the outside, but then inside I was crumbling and I was battling my self-worth and all these things, then that was going to directly impact how I was going to show up in the future. And that can either be incredibly debilitating and it can keep us stuck, or it can be a huge driving force, right? So what we need to understand, how we can actually start to fix this and overcome this, is we need to understand that this is a self-image challenge and likely a lack of spiritual connection to its two-part. Right? So I'm a big believer that men need to have a relationship with God or a high power universe. But personally, for me, it's you need to have a relationship with God. And the reason we need this, among many reasons, right, is our reference point. If your reference point is the world, i.e. you don't have this connection to God or something bigger than you that is guiding you, that is protecting you, that has put you here for a reason. If your reference point isn't that, your reference point will be the world around us. It'll be what other men are doing. You'll measure yourself on the success of your external world, of who you think you need to be to fit in. You'll allow the conditioning you have received and the things you take in, especially on social media, and you'll have all that impact the way you see yourself and impact who you think you need to be successful, to be liked, to be accepted, to be a certain type of man, right? We need our reference point to not be the world. We need our reference point to be based internally, right? We need our reference point to be God, high power universe, which is you are put here for a specific reason. You are limitless. You are deserving. You are worthy. You are strong. You are not the things the world tells you that you are, right? So this was a huge shift for me recently, like understanding the reference point thing. And I realized that I was judging myself and comparing myself and seeing myself through the lens that the world was telling me. And I didn't want that, because I mean, how many different things are there to measure yourself on in the world, right? How many different people on Instagram can you scroll and compare yourself to, right? This reference point of the world is it can absolutely fuck you over if you're not careful. So for me, once I connected to God and spirit and I started to care less and detach less from the world, like especially in the last few days, I've actually gotten rid of Instagram and TikTok and stuff off my phone to do a little detox, again, to further my reference point into God. And I've been able to remember that, oh yeah, I am this incredible man, this strong man, this man that is capable of doing whatever he wants because he has the support and backing of God. And that reference point alone it's taken this weight off my shoulders, because now I'm not judging myself based on other men or the world around me or social media or who I think I need to be. I'm judging myself based on who I want to be, for what I want to do, for who I need to be it for, right? I'm doing it for my loved ones, my family, and my future family, right? So ask yourself, first question, what is your reference point, right? Are you overly controlled and worried about the external world and who you need to be in the eyes of the world? If you are, that is going to lead to a lot of issues, and we'll be talking about those in these videos coming up. If your reference point is internal, is who you really are deep down, and is who God put you on this earth to be, that is the foundation that we need to build from, right? So that's part one. Part two is then the self-image work. So this is then understanding how our thoughts, our emotions, our belief systems, our language, our vision, how those things actually impact how we see ourselves. Because if the sum of our thoughts throughout the day are based in negativity, in fear, in frustration, in anxiety, in pessimism, in comparison, right, that is going to infect us like a virus, right? Our thoughts then elicit emotions and feelings in our body, right? Easiest way to think about this is when you think about having a steak, right? You start salivating, right? Thought elicits a feeling or elicits a response in our body, right? Same thing happens. If we're constantly thinking we're not good enough, if we're constantly worrying about other people, if we're constantly not feeling enough and feeling inferior, that is then going to make us feel these negative, restrictive feelings in our body. And once we feel those, that's going to then lead back to our thought, which is then going to strengthen the feeling, and it's just going to create this cycle. If we then add language, if we add negative self-talk, if we can't challenge that voice of doubt and the lies that get told to us in our head that make us feel less than, again, this is just all creating one giant negative cycle that then literally impacts the way in which we see ourselves, right? We have something called our reticular activating system, and one of the biggest things that is based on is our belief system. So if we have certain beliefs, our unconscious, our mind is then going to arrange our world to support the things that we believe about ourselves. So if we're trying to be this man that our vision and our family demands, yet the lens in which we see ourselves through, the way we talk to ourselves, the way we think, the way we feel, if that is all stuck in lack, in negativity, in not good enough, in inferiority, in insecurity, right? How on earth are we going to become that man? Right? Our internal operating system is completely warped, right? And it's been warped by the world, which is not even us to begin with. Right? So this is how we can start to get this this gap, right, between like the guy that looks like he has it all together, or maybe you who on the outside looks like you have it all together, but you're fighting this battle. It's probably because your reference point is not yourself, it's not God, it is the world and who you think you need to be through conditioning, how you've been brought up or whatever. What you think you need to do to be successful and liked. But it's also just probably a lack of awareness on how to actually control your mind, on how powerful thought is, on how to actually change your self-talk, how to audit your belief systems, how to think differently and create a different personality. Joe Dispenza talks about it. Personality is our personal reality that is made of our thoughts, emotions, our feelings, our actions, our language. Right? And this was a game changer for me. And I feel like as I go on my journey, I'm detaching less and less from the world and the world's, who the world wants me to be. And I've just come back to myself. I've come back to that vision. I've come back to the man I want to be. And I've allowed that every day to be my reference point. I catch myself when I have the thoughts of doubt, right? I catch myself when I go to say something negatively. I'm very conscious about how I speak, how I think, and how I'm showing up every day. And if I've got problems and challenges, I don't go to the world, I don't go to social media anymore, I go to God, I go to my reference point, I go to the source. And for some of you, that might be a hard thing to do. You might think that's dumb or whatever. If it is, like, all good, I will pray for you. But there are some of you out there watching this that understand what I'm saying. And you know that this is something you need to look at, right? You can't keep suppressing it. You'll reach a point, and if you don't address it soon, it's going to end badly, but you'll reach a point where that outside of who people think you are and how you're actually feeling and who you are in your own head becomes so far apart that you are going to snap, and it's not going to end well. I've seen it. I've nearly gotten there. All right, brother, so it's all good, common, very, very common, right? But you don't have to live this way anymore. And once you do this work, once you change your reference point and you do the deep inner work, the deep emotional work, you go through that self-image transformation, life gets to be so much better and so much different, because then, now this is our foundation. So I can speak from how I am right now. My foundation, which is my reference point is God. I've done a lot of the self-image work. So now the way in which I think and my just whole inner world as a whole is completely aligned with where I'm going. Right? That's the other part, aligning that inner world to where you want to go. So now when I think about my vision, now when I go to train, now when I go to eat, now when I go to interact with my partner, now when I interact with my family or whatever it might be, now everything is aligned to actually where I'm wanting to go and the man that I'm wanting to become and step into. So now I have, not only do I have my reference point, but now I have my North Star that just allows me every day to just get that a little bit better, right? I'm becoming the man my vision and my family need me and demand me to be, right? So you don't have to live this way anymore. You don't have to live with this complete misalignment and just come home and just bottle everything away and push everything down and just fight these battles and mental demons in your head. You are here for so much more, right? So much more. And I want to help you find that. I want to help you discover that. Right, so in wrapping this video up, there is a link down below that is a link to my free Telegram community called The Locker Room. And in there, we have raw conversations. I drop voice notes. We go into depth on things like this. And it's just a brotherhood of men that are all wanting to become the man in body, in mind, in mission, in faith, where we can all come together. We can have these conversations and you can actually take the mask off for a second. Right, and you can come back to you, right? Because the world needs more leading men. The world needs more men aware of how to shift their self-image and how to let go of so much of the doubt, of the insecurity, and of the limitations that our world places on us. right? So I invite you to join that group. And yeah, if you're wanting to take this further, you can also send me a message on Telegram because I'm off Instagram just for the second. But you can send me a message on Telegram to ask about ways to work with me. I have a few that I won't go into detail now, but they are there if you want to have a conversation. So brother, thank you very much for watching this video. I appreciate you being here. I'm excited to drop 2 of these videos a week where we're going to go into different self-image related things to help you become the fucking man. All right, thank you for watching, bro. We'll see you in the next one.